Thanks very much, Mr. Jaitley, for your time on the Buck Stops here tonight. We heard what you had to say earlier in the day, saying the Prime Minister is not in a position to choose the forum he'd like to appear before. But for the average citizen watching this, trying to make sense of the mind-boggling 2G scam, there's a much simpler question. The Prime Minister is willing to answer the questions of a parliamentary committee. To the citizen, it perhaps doesn't matter what form or shape that committee is. The fact is the symbolism of the Prime Minister being willing to answer those questions, the Prime Minister saying, I have nothing to hide. Is the opposition looking churlish in basically not even meeting him halfway on this offer?
Well, I don't think you've understood the issue in the right perspective. That's what the question indicates. Here you have a Prime Minister who for the last 3 years decided to look the other way when this scam was staring us in the face. Statement after statement, he told the country that what Mr. Raja did was very simple. He followed the past precedents. You had 1,76,000 crores or any other huge amount of the taxpayer being robbed as far as the country was concerned. And now after saying nothing on this matter for all these years, he turns around and says, well, I'll go before the Public Accounts Committee, knowing fully well that the Public Accounts Committee, the people may not be concerned with the rules, but Parliament is concerned with its regulations. PAC is a forum which only examines the auditor's report. So whatever the CAG has said with regards to its audit observations, the PAC will give its comments on that. All the larger issues involved in this, which pertain to the very vitals of Indian democracy, how was cabinet being formed in this case? Why was the portfolio only meant for one particular political party? How was this policy being framed in a manner where in 2007 and 8, you were distributing the spectrum at the 2001 prices? And then for 3 years, you were trying a cover-up on this particular issue. These are all questions. I am sure the Prime Minister has to answer these questions, but he has to, all good things must be done the right way. And the right way is an auditor's committee or a committee which examines the auditor's report is not the appropriate forum for it. Indian Parliament cannot be denied the opportunity, and the parliamentary forum is its subcommittee, which is the JPC.
Mr. Jaitley, that is a fair point, that the PAC, by the very rules and regulations of Parliament, is not able to look into many of the questions that you have raised. But alongside, it can be said that the BJP has been careful to not question the personal integrity of Manmohan Singh. If you had to detail what you believe the Prime Minister is specifically answerable for, what would it be?
He'll first be answerable for the vital question, why did he not act to stop Mr. Raja? Why did he not do anything for the last 3 years when this loss was being caused? Then he has to be asked what were the pressures being brought, not only from his regional ally, which is a pressure which I can understand, but from corporate groups and their lobbies with regard to the cabinet formation, allocation of portfolio to a particular person. And thereafter, the very vital question, when the policy was being framed in a manner to cause loss to the public exchequer, why did he not step in? Why did he allow a fraudulent implementation of a policy of this kind? These are all questions which he'll have to answer.
Mr. Jaitley, will the BJP and the opposition have to assess at some point and review its position based on what happens next? We are likely to see a formal prosecution against A. Raja. We are likely to see Neera Radia questioned by the CBI. We have a Supreme Court monitored investigation that's asked the agencies to report back by the 10th of February. We have Kapil Sibal appointing a one-man judicial panel to look at the policies that have come under the scanner. If things move towards a certain direction in this category of things that I have raised, would the opposition be willing to relook its demand for a JPC?
Well, there are two forums which you have mentioned which are inquiring into these matters. The CBI, whether monitored by the Supreme Court or otherwise, is only looking into the criminality involved in the matter. It is not looking into all those issues which I have just pointed out to you. A retired judge of the Supreme Court, I am afraid, we all have faith in our judges and retired judges, are not experts to go into matters of telecom policies of this country. That's a reaction which led to the appointment of a committee of this kind. I have seen recent reports of a large number of retired judges. With all utmost respect to them, at least they do not inspire confidence as far as I am concerned. There was a retired judge who produced an instant report saying the car sevak set the Sabarmati Express on fire, and Mr. Lalu Yadav used it politically the next day. Now, you've had these kind of reports, so I'd rather keep the judges and the retired judges out of these. These are political matters. The CBI is looking into criminality, and as far as the other aspects are concerned, they have to be looked into by a body such as the Joint Parliamentary Committee.